Hello, my name's Rob and welcome to Swift Slots. Now you may have seen I've just done a run of 4 short videos showing you 4 cars that I've bought over the last few months. Each of those cars wasn't worthy of a big video, so I just put 4 little videos together just so that you could see the cars. One of those videos was about my Scalextric BMW M1 from the 80s or 70s, not quite sure. Anyway, in the comments you mentioned about the noise of this car. So there was a bit of chit chat about the noise, which I wasn't expecting. So I did mention to one of you in the comments that what I would do is I'd run this car around the track without music. Now I always put music over the slot cars because it adds an extra dimension, and these videos are really just entertainment. And when you take away the music, you take away some of the interest level and it just becomes a noisy car running around the track. Plus also when you put sound of the slot car on a video, the sound doesn't really work too well because there's nothing to reference the sound to, and the sound can be quite harsh on its own when you're just listening to it with nothing else in the background or anything to compare it to. So that's why I always put music over the videos, because it just makes it more entertaining and it's just a nicer thing to watch. It's more palatable when you're watching 7 laps. So I never do it. But on your request, on a couple of you guys' request, what I will do is I will run this M1 round the track without any music whatsoever. I will do it for about a minute and you can really see how well this car goes, bearing in mind it's a very old car and the tyres aren't in the great shape. But I'll show you just how well this car goes because you seem to want to see that, and I won't play the music so that you can actually hear the car as it goes around, and then you can judge for yourself how loud or quiet this car actually is. But before I do that, I'll just get you on my table, pull off the top again so that I can show you the inside of the chassis all cleaned up and oiled, and then we'll go straight to Ricard Valley and we'll run it around. There won't be any turntables, we'll just get this done just so that you can hear her running around the track. So let's get you on my table, pull this car apart again. Okay, so here is the chassis all cleaned up and oiled, ready to hit the track, and I think you'll agree it looks a lot better than it did in the last video. Now you will notice I've changed the braids on this car, so these are 0.2 braids, and the reason why I like to use 0.2 is because they're very, very soft and it tends not to try and pick the front of the car up. Now these are new braids from the other day, not that I was having a problem on the track, but whenever I can and whenever I get the opportunity, I like to put on 0.2mm braids because it just helps with that front end lift, and old cars most certainly could do with a change of braids because they often run high in the front anyway, so thicker braids tend to push the car up even more. So 0.2 braids work really well, helps to keep the car down. And also somebody in the comments mentioned that this isn't the original guide. If you could point me to the exact original guide, I'd like to put an absolute original guide in, but if this one is close enough then it's not really a problem. Anyway, let's pop the body back on and let's hit the track and see what she goes and sounds like now. And I will be running this car absolutely flat out, which is something I don't always do. So let's get the lid on and let's hit the track. So there you are. I hope that's answered any questions that you may have had about how loud or quiet or how well this car actually runs around the track. Personally, I'm very, very happy with it. It runs really well for what I want it for. I'm very happy with its performance and its noise level, and I really enjoy running this car. And just for what it's worth, I think this car looks absolutely fantastic. I love its charm and I love how old it is and how well it goes. I just love everything about it. It's a really nice car. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this sort of content, and maybe if you have, maybe you'll subscribe, and if you could hit the little bell button, that'd be awesome. So until the next time, thank you very much.